Hey everyone, I have a fun video for you today. A couple months ago I reviewed this Star digital microscope, and at that time I asked people for suggestions of other stuff that I could look at under the microscope. So I just got done doing that and recording a bunch of video of various things that you guys recommended. So we've got pudding stones, I got a Yooperlite, we got Unikite, Hematite, or Hematite, I always say that wrong. We've got sand, there's both black sand and blonde sand. We got fossils, petrified wood, a couple other little things in here. Anyhow, it's already been filmed. Some of it was not quite as cool as I thought it was going to be, and other stuff was way cooler than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to see it all, and just be patient with how jiggly and jittery and out of focus some of it is. I did my best to edit out the worst stuff, but when you're moving something underneath this microscope, since it's zoomed in so close, it just gets kind of, I don't know, jittery, I guess. So it's not too bad, but just be a little bit patient with that and understand that's hard to do. But I think you'll really like this video, so here we go. All right, we're going to start with pudding stones, and I've got my two favorite pudding stones here. This one I found in one of the first videos I did before I was even serious about YouTube. This is just gorgeous all the way around. So I caught the excitement of finding that one on video, which was pretty fun. And this is my favorite polished pudding stone. It's got a really nice polish on it. And that side right there is what I traced to make my t-shirts. So I had trouble drawing a pudding stone. I thought, oh, that's easy. You just make some black and red blobs on a a kind of neutral colored background, and they didn't look like pudding stones. So I figured if I traced one, it's got to look like a pudding stone. So that's what I used. So let's take a look at those two first. This is the big rough stone. So this part's quartzite here, the white part. I don't know what this kind of looks metallic right here. Thought that was interesting. And then the red part's jasper, of course. Kind of hard to keep focused because the rock's bumpy and stuff. Okay, this is the polished one. I got a better polish on this than I get on most of these, but I want to show you something here. Right there, see that? That's the quartzite always has those pits in it. You can never get rid of them. The jasper and the cherts and things in there, you can get those to look really nice and smooth, but there's always some pitting, and this one's actually better than most. That jasper is so bright red when you see it in the lake, and when it's wet and in the sun. I thought that part was kind of cool right there. Okay, this is the slab. So the slab's a lot easier to keep the focus. I can just put the microscope in a tripod and then just slide this around underneath it. So that's the jasper. You can see some saw marks there. Somebody suggested I do hematite. So this is some banded iron that I got. It's a slab. But I got this at Lindbergh and Sons Quarry in Marquette and slabbed it. And then here's some specular hematite. This is from Champion, Michigan, which is, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes from Marquette, something like that, but I think that one's going to be neat. And it leaves little dust all over the place, so maybe we'll take a look at the dust too. Okay, we'll start with the slab, and I've got it kind of zoomed out here. You can see the bands. This is hematite and jasper. Although the jasper doesn't look very jaspery. Okay, this is zoomed in more. I thought maybe it'd look a little more interesting if I got real close. And I gotta say, it's kind of boring. But wait until you see the specular stuff. Alright, this is the specular hematite. Once again, it's kind of hard to keep it focused because it's a lumpy rock, but isn't that cool looking? And then here's some of the dust I just had on a piece of paper. And it's pretty darn cool looking dust. Stuff's really messy. Next up we have Mary Ellen Jasper, which is really cool stuff. This is from Thomas from 99 Rock Hounding in Minnesota. So let's take a peek at that. Mary Ellen Jasper is a type of stromatolite. I think it's about 1.9 billion years old. It might be the oldest living thing, like the first living thing on Earth. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm pretty sure about that. It's a cyanobacteria, or a blue-green algae. And you can sure see that this looks like a, like if you looked at some algae under a microscope or something. Here it is a little bit closer. I think that stuff's just awesome. And this is just a slab, not polished up or anything. In some ways, I like looking at the unpolished stuff better because you're not getting all the reflections off the lights. I like that part right there where it's white in the background. A little better contrast. Another thing you asked about is Unikite. So I have a slab. This is one of my favorite polished pieces of Unikite. When I did my rocks in a box video, you guys liked this one the best. Lots of comments on this. I'm not 100% sure this is Unikite because it looks so much different than most other Unikite, so that may not actually be Unikite, but it's a cool rock, whatever it is. And then this is actually, I've been making Christmas ornaments. This is a reject one that it's not very good up in here, but we'll take a look at that too and show you there. See, it's worse on this side. See right there where it's all kind of pitted. But down here looks good, so we'll look at this part, maybe the pitted part too. Alright, we're starting with the slab. And again, you can see saw marks. I'm not really sure what that big mark is there. The smaller ones, I think, are saw marks. I don't know why that big white line is there. Kind of going in a different direction. So this one's the polished one that I said was my favorite. And it looks pretty cool here too. I just love the texture, I want to call it. I guess it's smooth, but the green, just how it's kind of smeared around there. Alright, this is the one I said was a crowd favorite. That I'm not 100% sure it's Unikite, but I don't really know what else it would be. But it just looks so different, the way the red and greens aren't kind of smeared together. So if it is Unikite, the red or orange or whatever you want to call that is feldspar. And then the green is epidote, and the white is quartz. And then this is the bell shape. This is the good part of it. So this is polished.
And then you can see up in here we start getting into like undercutting. It just looked kind of bad. Doesn't look quite as bad in the video, but in real life it just doesn't look very good. There you can see a little pitting all around there. So I don't know what happened to that, but I guess it wasn't a very good good rock in that part.
Next up we've got petrified wood. Now this one's been cut, so I got a flat surface to work with. Not sure where all this stuff came from. That looks like it might be Arizona petrified wood just because of the colors in it. This is another scrap piece somebody cut and had this little bit left over, so maybe we can get a good look at that surface. And there's another one. None of this stuff is stuff that I found. This is all stuff I got by buying it or trading for it. So let's take a look.
Okay, this is the flat back of that first piece I showed you. I don't know if those are little wood cells in there, those little specks. Can't see them so much anymore. There you can see them up by the top a little bit. Okay, this is one of the rough pieces. I don't know what that white stuff is on there. If that's, like I said, I didn't pick this up myself, so I don't know if that's like a matrix rock that it's chipped out of or what that is. Okay, this is the one that I think might be Arizona petrified wood, just because it had more color in it. Sorry about the focus there. Here you can see the little reds in the bottom. And this is the one that had the two 90-degree cuts on it. This is the cut surface. You can see saw marks there. And then this is the other side, the natural side, which is much more interesting actually. A lot of times cut surfaces are nicer, but I think in petrified wood the natural surface looks really cool. Looks more like wood.
Somebody asked about this rock that I found at Muskellunge Lake State Park. It's one that has this little thing in it that looks kind of fossil-y. I don't know how easy that's going to be to see because it's got deeper parts and shallower parts. And it's kind of hard to focus on everything all at once with this, but we'll take a look at it.
Okay, there it is. Just looking at that little fossil part. I had to ask my wife what kind of noodle that looks like. Not really up my pastas, but penne. Doesn't it look sort of like penne? Like those hollow ones? With little stripes down the sides? I don't think that would be found fossilized though, so it's probably something else. Actually focused a little better than I thought it was going to on this, considering all the different depths.
This is a piece of granite that someone wanted to see. Not this particular one, but I pulled out one from my earlier days of tumbling. And you can see I got it shiny, but can you see the undercutting there? The parts that aren't shiny, kind of pitted. So we're going to see those parts a lot closer here in just a sec.
Alright, so now you get to see why I don't tumble granite. At least not very often. I used to tumble it. So those gray parts, they're kind of eroded away more than the orangish parts there. I'm going to turn the lights on here in a second on the microscope. It's got a little built-in light. There's the lights. Now you can see the shine. So the parts that don't undercut shine up nice. So undercutting's when the softer minerals wear away more than the harder minerals in a rock. So a lot of rocks are made out of more than one mineral. And or maybe all rocks are made out of more than one mineral, else you just call it a mineral. But anyhow, you can see those dark spots just don't shine up. That might be mica. I think that's what that is. Very soft.
This is a Yooperlite, which is actually a rock called Cyanide that has fluorescent sodalite in it. Doesn't look like much here, but if we turn the lights off, here's what it looks like under UV light. A little more impressive. So we'll look at it both ways.
Just like with the lights on, this stuff's kind of boring, even up close. You can see there's some undercutting on this one also. But with the lights off and the UV light on, just like from far away, it looks really cool close up too. I think I got a little better focus here in a second. Here we go. Gosh, that's cool. It's like you can see right inside it. I wasn't sure what to think this would look like. I didn't know what to expect, but not disappointed.
For the Lake Superior agate, I picked out this one with some very fine banding. So I want to take a look at those bands really, really close.
Here's another one that's not disappointing. Those bands are so fine. I'm zoomed way in on these. Look at that. Looks like a piece of candy. Could just lick it. Love those angles there. Maybe that's the math teacher in me talking. Another thing people wanted to see was tumbling grit. So this is before tumbling. And then here's after tumbling for 48 hours. It's a little bit smaller, but it really didn't change as much as I thought it would. The black is silicon carbide, and the white is aluminum oxide. Silicon carbide is supposed to break down by actually breaking into smaller but still sharp pieces. This is before again. Aluminum oxide is supposed to kind of round off. I guess you can see that a little bit, but it's not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. You can still see those black ones are still pretty sharp. And the other ones, they don't exactly look rounded, but maybe a little bit.
And here are some fossils. There's a Petoskey stone. This is called Cladophora. It's polished like the Petoskey stone was. And then we'll look at a few of these, just a box of things with my little notes about where I found them. So we'll look at a few of those things.
All right, we'll start with the Petoskey stone, obviously. So you can zoom this microscope in or out. So this is zoomed out quite a ways because getting real close really didn't look all that cool on this one. So other things I like to zoom right in. So you're seeing a variety of zoomages in these. This is the Cladophora. Look right there. You can see the white lines in between those darker spots. Never noticed those before looking at it this way. So this is corals that are in some sort of a dark matrix. I know it smells like oil when you cut this stuff or sand it. These are little crinoid discs from Rockport. The ones from Rockport have these little teeth around the outside, like little gears. Other ones I find are just smooth around the outside. This is a bryozoan, I think. This is a very, very thin piece. This is probably from right in Alpena by SciTech Park on Burkholder Drive. I find them other places too, but I think that's where this one's from. Look how they're all lined up, those little spots. This is from the same spot. This is just some sort of a branching coral. Don't know exactly what kind, but little tiny thing. Here's my favorite part of the whole video. Saved it till last. Can you tell me what that is? Because I was surprised. That's mostly black sand, which I picked up on a Lake Superior beach to look for gold. There might be some gold in this. I didn't notice any, but you can look for it. But look at those little, the colorful ones. Okay, this is the more blonde sand that was just on the top of the bucket. It's kind of mixed in with the black sand. It's hard not to pick up some blonde sand, but look at the little, like the pink one there. More pink ones. Some of them look like little agates. Like that red one. Look at that red one. I just never realized how cool sand looks. That pink one there. It's like a little diamond. I think I could have a new hobby just going through this and picking out all the pretty ones. Okay, this is magnetite. This is just magnetite, which I removed with a magnet. It's one of the methods you use when you're trying to get gold out of black sand, is you try to get out all the stuff that isn't gold and have less to go through. Oh, this is from Alpena. I just went down to the beach to see if our local sand looks as good, and it doesn't. Well, there's some cool stuff in this too, but not quite as bright of colors as you get up in the UP. So we'll go back to UP stuff and look at this. So while we're looking at these last ones here, if you missed my review of this microscope, I'll link it here at the end of the video and also in the description. So if you want to check this out, it's been a fun little toy. You know, it's not a professional microscope, but sure has been a lot of fun. In the description of this video, you'll find a coupon code for $15 off this microscope. At least that's what it was at the time of the recording of this video. I think it changes over time and it might not always work. So give it a try and see if you can get a little discount. I could look at this stuff for a long time. Actually did look at this stuff for a long time. You're just seeing some of it. I really might go through and just pick out the pretty ones. Maybe we can do another video some other day. Just the prettiest sand crystals. Crystals? Pieces? Chunks? I don't know what you call those. I guess they're crystals. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.